Greetings, this is Ron again.
This is Fellonius again, and welcome to Chapping number 3.
And once again, this is a show where two very different people come together. We bring a topic, we try to share our quick thoughts on it, and just see what the other person's experience is with that topic.
Yes, and since it's a bit secret, we are trying to catch the other one a little bit off guard as well.
Yes.
The only thing is that you have the topics when you start listening, we haven't. This time it's my turn to start. We have been debating on going each other's time, and I want to be serious this time. I want to talk about swim lessons. And let me give you up to a background. I've been reading articles, of course. I'm reading my papers, trying to find out what's going on. And now and again, I get through statistics telling me that people don't do this, people can't do that. And suddenly there are people like 25% of the Swedish people can't swim.
Okay.
And to be totally honest, 25%, it's a very huge number. Now, most of those people who can't swim are not actually immigrants. They have just recently come from Somalia or whatever. So, of course, they haven't been able to learn to swim in their countries. But still, 25%. And that brought me back to my days. I can't swim either. I'm one of the 25%. Okay. And I haven't even told people that. This is the first time that I'm actually stating, yes, I can't swim properly. I can probably keep myself floating for 50 meters or so, but that's not swimming.
Okay.
And I can't do the crawl, and I can't do the butterfly, and I'm not totally sure what the other ones are called even. So how did I get through that one? Now, is there anything resembling that in your type of country, or at least your type of the country? I mean, in Illinois or something like that.
Well,
you have swim lessons in school, for instance.
Well, generally, no.
Well, how do you get to learn to swim then?
Yeah, so most kids, in my experience only, will learn to swim either one of two ways. And actually, first, before I say that, I would say we have a fairly high rate of people that know how to swim.
You have a lot of water, so you need to do that.
If they grew up in the United States, my dad did not know how to swim. I remember him teaching himself, like, I don't know, he was probably in his 40s, and he probably can swim enough to stay afloat, but that's about it.
We say 200 meters is about what you have to, because you're usually not more than 200 meters from the shore.
Yeah.
So,
no, in my country, our high school had a swimming pool, and it was part of our gym class. But prior to that, no, it wasn't anything formal through the school. Most kids either learn to swim just because, as you said, their proximity to water. There's a lake nearby, or their parents take them to a beach, or the local swimming pool. They just teach themselves or teach their own kids. And then myself and my kids, we went to like a park district program.
Okay.
So in the summer, you sign up, you go, and for some reason, these are like freaking 6 a.m. in the morning, whatever, very, very early before the pool's open to the public, and the water is so cold.
Yeah.
So here's these kids that are possibly terrified of swimming, don't know how to swim, don't know.
Yeah.
And then they're subjected to ice cold water. But
well, it's easy to see that they want to learn quickly then.
Yeah. For me, so I remember when I was a very little kid being afraid of the water. I remember swimming lessons. And then I remember at some point, well, basically when my neighbor got a pool in their backyard, and then I just suddenly wanted to play all these games in the pool, Marco Polo and all this stuff, hide and seek tag with your eyes closed, whatever, diving for pennies. And then I took to it like a fish in water, and I joined swim team and all this other stuff.
Okay.
But, Yeah, I
But
think.
you have the same situation like me. Then you had parents that you couldn't swim, and I had the same thing. And my parents didn't even discuss the swimming thing. So both my brothers and me, we never learned how to swim. Now
Mhm.
my younger brother got, I think he got it in school. He had to learn how to swim in school, but I just dived under. Somehow I just, oh, I was sick that class or whatever, because I really didn't know it. Today I'm so disappointed at myself. I wanted to swim. Nowadays I want to swim. But you said something about diving for pennies. Now
Mhm.
that I can do. I
Okay.
can still do that, just diving underwater, getting downwards, but I won't call that swimming.
How do you get back up though?
I just, well, if I get to the bottom, there's no way of just kicking myself up.
Yeah.
I'm a good floater, you know.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like a lot of a couple of my friends were into swim. Actually, a lot of people that I knew were in swim teams, and some of them got their college jobs were as lifeguards during the summer. So to
You see, you
me,
have a lot of water where you were, so that probably is it.
yeah, pools and lakes. I mean, we're south of your latitude,
Yeah,
and so we probably have more warm water,
yeah, that's one thing.
more
But
year round.
yeah, but so should the Somalian people, but they might have cultural problems. Still,
Well, there.
now I say that swimming is a skill that you have to have.
I mean, I guess if
I
you
would
think
vote for
about
it.
it in this day and age, if your life is that you get up and you sit in front of your computer and then you work and you go to bed,
Yeah,
and or you live in a big city, I don't
you're not
know
going to
if,
drown. No, I can see that. Yeah.
but certainly there are a lot of coastal areas or rivers, places where it is important. But
Now, here's another thing that might be. As I said, I'm more into this social stuff because I think the society should take care of this thing. I think. Well, I know it's no money in it, of course not, and if it's no money, no one wants to touch it. But still, there should be some sort of I don't know, not voluntary as it was in my case. It should be needed to learn how to swim at a certain age.
hmm.
It should be among reading, writing, and learning the math, and having at least done 50 meters of swimming.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I actually think it's a great thing to do, great skill to have. It is at some point in your life you're going to be around water, and it.
Oh yes, you're not going to be getting
But
through it.
I guess what other? I'm just trying to think. Are there other activities like swimming that should be mandatory? So, for example,
Oh,
riding a bicycle.
mandatory was the one. Yes, right. Yeah, why not? But we all know, we know not all will just learn that either. But
Yeah,
we think that is more important. Getting wheels underneath us is more important than to swim.
I don't know. I don't know. I
And
will.
for me, just reading about the number 25%. Now, I'm not totally sure. I haven't checked the source on this one. It might actually be over the top, but still, it feels like something is going wrong if that number is increasing.
Mhm.
Then something is really not working well in our society. And there might, as you said, be other skills that is also being set lower. And we also in Sweden have a lot of problem with just the reading and writing stuff as well. So perhaps it's connected somehow. I'm not totally sure.
Well, I can tell you one skill that I don't have that I feel like I should have learned as a kid, and I just didn't
Hmm.
do it enough, and that's ice skating.
Oh, well, I can move on ice.
I can move, but like my
Yeah.
ankles always sort of
Yes.
bend inwards, and I don't
Yeah.
stay up. I'm like wobbly.
Yes, and my
I
knees is starting to ache a lot.
and the
But
weird.
I've been doing that to and fro for quite some years.
Yeah.
Not in the latest 5-6 years, but before that, yes, I try every winter to do some skating because in our little country, every community is actually doing a little ice skating rink. And I think you do that in your area as well. You just take a lot of water and and freeze it. And it hasn't had to be a rink. It's just some ice, and it's open.
Yeah, I rollerblade. I know how to rollerblade, but I just never did ice skating. So.
Oh, I wish I could learn skateboarding.
I used to do that too.
60 years of age learning skateboarding. Holy. I should go some Okay, thanks for at least that input. There goes the bell.
So, I don't know. Maybe I'm going to start all of these with a question. I don't intend to, but have you seen my favorite movie lately?
Your favorite movie lately? No, I haven't seen that movie.
Okay. So one of I think my favorite movie is this movie called Contact with Jodie Foster, Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that one. Oh, that's on my list.
Good.
120 movies, so it's on my list.
So in that movie, we receive a signal from aliens. And, of course, the movie starts off with us sending out messages into space. The first ever radio waves, I think, intentionally sent into space is something like the Hitler and the Olympics. And we sent, like, a Beatles album into space, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But my real topic, my question is, if you had to send a message to aliens. So aliens are going to come to our planet. You're in charge of picking what message do we send them. What is important for us to send them before they get to our planet and meet us? What would you put in that message?
Letters. Okay, I got one. 4 letters. Okay. HELP.
Oh, no. Okay.
Help! Well, that is because I am, like many others before me, thinking that the aliens is much more clever than us. They could go over light years of space and meet up with us. We can't reach them. So they must be better, technologically better than us at least, and hopefully they're more intelligent than us, because we are not doing our world, we are not handling our world right. And we need some help doing that. So that would be the first one that goes away. But if I'm going to show anything from our world, I'm not totally sure that there's anything on this planet that could give them something that will tell them who we are.
Yeah,
there's nothing, one single piece. If you're just sending the Beatles album, they were just wondering, well, this is just some sort of Rolling Stone. We don't understand it. Yeah, that was a joke, but still. But no, not really. There should be some sort of information video, but since every country has a different story, and the fact that we are countries still, then we can't really do it, because the Chinese would probably wonder, why are you sending this thing about, well, perhaps slavery, who knows? We were talking about that last week. And the Chinese people are there. We are not slaves. We are communists. And then suddenly, what? Are you communists? No, we are not going to be agree on that. The United Nations should probably have some sort of idea about this. But to me, that's just an empty house with nothing real thing.
Yeah, I wonder if they do have some sort of protocols, or let's say that the alien shows up in orbit, and what's the first thing we try to send them? You know, obviously we'd probably say greetings or
yeah,
hello.
I always do. Yeah, but if you're asking me, I would say that NASA has a schedule for this.
I think so.
Oh, yes. If there's any intelligent people on this planet, they are working for NASA. I've seen a lot of stuff going on in NASA, and they're tiny people that doesn't seem to have any names or anything. They're all intelligent. They're all doing stuff that I'm not really sure that what they're doing. And it's actually just seeing their podcasts from wherever, and they are so good. So I say NASA is the thing we should put forward to say greetings.
Yeah.
Not Hollywood.
It makes me think of several different episodes of Doctor Who. Do you watch that show?
Yeah. No, I haven't watched them, but I know.
And the Doctor, at least in the recent couple series, he is fascinated with Earth and basically spends most of his time helping out Earthlings in different situations. And whenever evil alien species are trying to take over the Earth or whatever or whatnot, he always, or even when Earth is doing something questionable, like he always seems to have a good way of summing up the good things of humanity, like our tenacity. Of all the creatures in the universe, we're tenacious. We can be capable of such hope and humor, and just like our imaginations, our ability to adapt and improvise and things like that. Like, I feel like we should somehow get those concepts across, but I struggle to think of how you do it, because what we think symbolizes those traits, who knows what an alien, how they will even interpret it. And in Contact, to kind of tie it back, the aliens start off by sending us very simple math, 1 + 1, and then it gets more complicated and until
we can't solve it.
And it gets to a point where it becomes language, and then it's almost like they send us what they called a primer. And once you figure out the primer, you can then get to the next stage of the message, and then the next stage. And I kind of feel like in that movie, by the end, it's actually more of having faith in each other. So I always think about this. I think about this question quite often. When doing YouTube videos, like, if the first thing an alien is going to see is one of our TV shows or one of our YouTube episodes of Minecraft,
or one of my YouTube, dear.
What must they think? Or if they're monitoring us right now, listening to this podcast,
dear, that sends shivers down my spine.
They're probably saying, "Quick, everybody, learn to swim."
Yeah, exactly, or something like that. But if we're going to be a little bit more serious about this, I would say that the ones you should do the video or whatever media is going to be sent into space, it should be the Swiss. The Swiss people are organized. They will probably just remove any stuff that has any emotions in it. And that was going to be something really true, factual stuff. And there is no way there's an alien species out there that would misinterpret a Swiss message.
I don't know. Without emotion, though, what if it's like, I don't want them to think we're a bunch of robots.
If you're really thinking, we are a bit, not we, but the Swiss people are a bunch of robots.
Oh, boy.
How much do you know about the Swiss people?
No, I know that they make hot chocolate and
so does the Belgians.
Swiss cheese, and I often get Switzerland confused with Sweden. I'm sorry.
I know that. Yes,
very often
okay.
I do.
That's okay. It's us who has the polar bears on the streets. Yes. Now that's the only difference. No, but to be totally honest, the Switzerland people and the government, they have actually been doing stuff like they have told people that you are totally welcome to come and work for us, but we won't let you stay here. You're not allowed to live here. Really? You have to go cross the border all the time. So there are French people going to Switzerland to work every day and going back home to France every day.
Oh, that's
They are not
surprising.
alive. Yeah, can you see that? The Swiss
'Cause-
people are totally alienated. They're not. They are alien as they are. So if we give them the opportunity to give us the message, that will be cool.
That doesn't seem to jive with my thoughts of the Swiss being always neutral. I would think they were open and accepting.
Yeah, no, they're not. They're not really open. Well, for tourists, yes, and for everything having to do with the Geneva Convention or anything, we were the guys behind it. No, they weren't. But of course, they don't want people to. They don't want to build roads through Switzerland because that will mean that the environment will take damage. So they have one tunnel, and that's what you get, and that suddenly brings you to Italy.
I think we're
So
gonna.
that's
Oh,
different types. So put the Swiss people or the Swiss government to make the message for the aliens.
okay. Well, I think we're going to have to do a future episode on Switzerland because I am certainly curious now. But if there are any aliens listening, feel free to leave us a comment on what you want to learn about our society, and we'll catch you next time.
Absolutely. Thanks for now.